It is said that history is written by the victors. In fact, some have made history even as they wrote it into being. But what of those heroes whose tales of triumph remain woefully unsung? Enter Elizabeth Cochrane Seaman, or as she was known, Nellie Bly, to change the face of investigative reporting. Who, what, why Miss Bly, you may be asking yourself, and true enough, you won't find her face in a museum or her statue standing anywhere in New York City. But her legacy of storytelling, relentless reporting, and female empowerment lives on. And so we, in our small way, honor Miss Bly with this tribute show. February 2nd, 1896, a champion of her sex, was recorded live at the Slipper Room on March 25th, 2018. It was part of our show, The Secret Files of Nellie Bly.
Get your copy here, folks. Read all about it here first. A New York World exclusive evening edition. Nellie Bly takes on the Tammany Tiger.
Nellie Bly exposes a gambling siren of the Coleman House?
Look at Nellie Bly. By golly, what she gone and done now?
What's this? Nellie Bly trains an elephant? Trains an elephant? A lady parading around on a pachyderm? Unseemly. Unseemly.
Did you hear? She pretended she was insane. Got herself locked up.
At Blackwell's Island. Preposterous.
But did you read her story? What a story.
What a story.
What a story.
She made a difference. Her words and actions prompted much-needed reform.
Oh, she's just a muckraker.
A reformer.
A sensationalist. A stunt performer.
A groundbreaker.
A woman. Bah.
But what a woman.
What kind of newspaper hires her?
What a woman.
What a woman.
Nellie Bly, bring the broom along. We'll sweep the kitchen clean, my dear, and have a little song.
Nellie Bly, there's a name for the ages. But that was just a nom de plume, you know. She took the name from that old Stephen Foster song. What people did not know that her real name was Elizabeth Cochrane. She added an E to the end of Cochrane to seem a little more elevated, I suppose, but her closest friends called her Lizzie. So that means I called her Lizzie. My name? Arthur Brisbane, newspaper editor for Joseph Pulitzer. Yeah, that Joseph Pulitzer, the namesake of the noted Pulitzer Prize. And later I worked for his rival, William Randolph Hearst. I count among my friends U.S. presidents, foreign dignitaries, men of power, influence, and prestige, and a certain wily, dogged, and brilliant reporter known as Nellie Bly. Once upon a time, I was Nellie Bly's boss at the New York World. Well, no one who is completely honest with himself would ever make such a claim. No one was ever the boss of Nellie Bly. We were friends. And ours was a friendship that was founded not just on a mutual respect for one another, but by the way we bound ourselves to our chosen profession. You see, we had the ink of the printing press running through our veins. We were newspaper people through and through. But back when Nellie began her career in the late 1800s, women had no place in the newsroom. As a very young woman, she fought for and earned the right that was denied so many others. But I should add that she didn't simply earn that right. She became the very best there was. She may have been denied the vote, of course, like all the women of our nation at that time, but that makes her triumphs all the more remarkable. Nellie Bly was larger than life. And she was not only made news, she made history. We still remember her greatest triumphs, going undercover in the insane asylum for women on Blackwell's Island, racing around the world in not 80 days, as Jules Verne projected in his imagined tale, but in just 72. She won them all over, even the ones who tried to stand in her way. I was a close confidant of Nellie's. I mentored her the best I could when she started out, but she didn't need me for too long. Even when our lives and work took us in different directions, we were always bosom companions. And dare I admit it now, I probably learned more from her than she ever learned from me. I have kept and treasured our many letters, a correspondence that spanned a friendship of nearly 33 years. In those letters, she shared with me her ideas, her ambitions, her worries, her dreams, her regrets, and some very interesting anecdotes that she stored away in what she referred to as her secret files. Take, for instance, this rare and candid interview Nellie Bly conducted with a person who happened to be one of her greatest inspirations. The following excerpt was published in the New York World on February 2nd, 1896.
Tell me, for whom were you named?
I was named Susan after my father's sister. When I was a young woman, there came a great craze for middle initials. We girls scratched our heads to find one. The aunt I was named after married a man named Bronnell, and I decided to take her initials for mine. So, you see, I named myself, and I'm always glad I did. There might be 1,000 Susan Anthonys, but the B makes it distinctive.
Susan B. Anthony. I had to stop for an instant to look at her. Oh, she made a picture to remember and cherish. She sat in a low rocking chair, an image of repose and restfulness. Her well-shaped head, with its silken, snowy hair combed smoothly over her ears, rested against the back of the chair. If she had been posed for a picture, it could not have been done more artistically or perfectly. Oh, she must have sensed how awestruck I was when she broke the silence.
Do you know, Nellie, the world is a blank to me. I haven't read a newspaper in 10 days, and I feel lost to everything. Tell me about Cuba. I am so interested in it. I would even postpone my own enfranchisement to see Cuba free.
Oh, well, with all respect, Miss Anthony, well, that's a subject we can broach later. I don't want to squander this opportunity to speak with you about you. Tell me, what led you to becoming a suffragist? How did you begin?
Well, I remember the first time I heard of suffragist. I was bored and complained because my family were so intensely interested in the subject. Can't you find anything else to talk about? I asked my sisters in disgust. That was over 50 years ago.
Really?
Well, it must be said that my family were my strongest supporters when I first began. I don't think I could have ever done my public work, Nellie, if I had opposition at home. My father was a practical man. He believed in equality for his daughters, even in those days.
Where do you find the strength, the fortitude to...
The secret to my work, Nellie, is that when there is something to do, I do it.
And are you afraid of death?
I don't know anything about heaven or hell, or whether I will meet my friends again or not. But as no particle of matter is ever lost, I have a feeling that no particle of mind is ever lost. The thought doesn't bother me. I feel that nothing is lost, and that the hereafter will be managed as this life is managed now.
Then you don't find this life tiresome?
Oh, mercy, no. I don't want to die as long as I can work. The minute I can't work any longer, I want to go. I dread the thought of being enfeebled. I find the older I get, the greater power I have to help the world. I feel like a snowball. The further I am rolled, the more I gain. When my powers begin to lessen, I want to go. But I'll have to take it as it comes. I'm just as much in the hands of eternity now as when the breath goes out of my body.
Do you pray?
I pray every single second of my life. I never get on my knees or anything like that, but I pray with my works, My prayer is to lift women to equality with them. Work and worship are one with me.
Do you think women should propose?
Yes, if she can see a man she can love. And I think woman will make better choices than man. She'll know quicker what man will suit her and whether he loves her and she loves him. And on another topic, let me tell you what I think about bicycling.
Bicycling?
Yes, bicycling. I think that it has done more to emancipate women than anything else in the world. I stand and rejoice every time I see a woman ride by on a wheel. It gives a woman a feeling of freedom and self-reliance, the picture of free, untrammeled womanhood.
And bloomers?
Are the proper thing for wheeling. It is, as I have said, dressed to suit the occasion. A woman doesn't want skirts and flimsy lace to catch in the wheel. Safety, as well as modesty, demands bloomers or extremely short skirts. You know women only wear foolish articles of dress to please men's eyes anyway.
What do you think the new woman will be?
She'll be free. Then she'll be whatever her best judgment wants her to be. We can no more imagine what the true woman will be than we can what the true man will be.
Tell me one thing more, Miss Anthony. Were you ever in love?
In love? Oh, bless you, Nellie. I've been in love 1,000 times.
Really?
Yes, really. But I never loved anyone so much that I thought it would last. In fact, I never felt I could give up my life of freedom to become a man's housekeeper. I want to add one thing, Nellie. Once men were afraid of women with ideas and a desire to vote. Today our best suffragists are sought in marriage by the best class of men.
Susan B. Anthony is all that is the best and noblest in women, Nellie Bly concluded. She is ideal, and if we will have in women who vote what we have in her, let us all help to promote the cause of women's suffragette. Thus ends the article as it appeared in The World, Sunday, February 2nd, 1896. But there was more. Nellie divulged it to me much later. Her conversation with Miss Anthony did not end there, but went on longer, and off the record.
I really can't thank you enough for your time, Miss Anthony. It means a great deal to me, personally.
Nellie, you are very kind.
No, not at all.
Yes, you are. And you are quite special. You have done what so many women only dream of doing. How have you managed to do it all?
Oh, Miss Anthony, you flatter me.
I am quite an avid follower of your work, your adventures. Come closer to me.
Miss Anthony.
Come.
All right.
I wish to entrust you with a piece of information. A piece of information I have not shared with another living soul. Not even my dearest Mrs. Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Really? Why me?
You are our great messenger. That is your destiny. Your gift. I am a firm believer in a person's destiny. I became aware of mine at an early age. You asked me earlier if I was afraid to die, and if I ever found life tiresome.
Forgive me, was that too personal a question? I can't help being forward sometimes. The nature of a reporter, you see.
No, it was not too forward, dear. Come closer.
Yes, Miss Anthony.
I realized from quite an early age that I knew everything. Everything ahead of me.
Are you saying that you were able to predict your own destiny?
Predict is not the correct word. I just knew things in a very precise way. I have never been wrong. I can even tell you with great certainty the date of my own passing. March 13th, 1906, at 3:16 in the afternoon. I will die from heart failure and pneumonia.
But, Miss Anthony, how could you know such a thing?
I have not been wrong yet. I knew precisely when the Civil War would begin and when it would end. I was already prepared for the assassination of President Lincoln, for I knew when it was coming. Exactly when it was coming, down to the day, the hour, the minute.
Forgive me, Miss Anthony, but that...
Take up your pencil, Nellie. I want you to write this down. April 18th, 1920. Write that date down, please, would you?
Miss Anthony...
Did you write down that date as I asked you? Good.
Miss Anthony, I still don't know what any of this means. Why are you...
That is a precise date when we will have achieved what we have struggled for so long. If only I could be here to witness it. But I take the greatest comfort in knowing.
But, Miss Anthony,
Good day, Nellie Bly. I had a very pleasant time talking with you. Good luck to you.
Nellie saved the paper with that date she jotted down. Even showed it to me and asked what I thought. At the time I said I didn't see why I should think very much of it. Turns out neither did she. She felt a little sorry for Susan B. Anthony, who seemed so facile and clear-headed during their interview. Perhaps these were the early signs of dementia. She still felt a terrific admiration for the great woman, and it was with an equal mix of lamentation and shock when Nellie learned of Miss Anthony's passing on March 13th, 1906. The date she had accurately predicted, or to use her word, knew. Nellie began to look again at that date Miss Anthony asked her to write down with different eyes. It was later noted that Nellie Bly was able to correctly forecast the day women would win the right to vote, when the 19th Amendment would be ratified on August 18th, 1920, long before it came to pass. I asked her how she could predict such a thing. She simply said she knew. Tonight, I will impart what I am able to share with you from the secret files of Nellie Bly. I am Arthur Brisbane.
And this is Fireside Mystery Theater.
And that concludes this episode. We continue our tribute to women beyond the confines of Women's History Month, because no woman's greatness can be confined by the limitations of time. 3 more stories of the adventures of Miss Bly await you in the coming weeks, dear listeners. In today's episode, Susan B. Anthony was played by Mary Murphy. Arthur Brisbane was played by David Linton. The newspaper barker and seller was played by Eirik Davey-Gislason. Newspaper readers were played by Mary Murphy, Alain Laforest, Kacie Laforest, and Gustavo Rodriguez. And the part of Nellie Bly was played by me, Ali Silva. The song Nellie Bly was written by Stephen Foster. It was performed by Martina DaSilva, accompanied by Nico Sleator. February 2nd, 1896, A Champion of Her Sex was written by Silbin Sandovar. It was directed by Payne-Strange. The Secret Files of Nellie Bly was produced by Gustavo Rodriguez, Daniel and Rebecca Graves, and me for Fireside Mystery Productions. Jason Graves composed our theme music. Our musical score is improvised by Steve Blanco. Our sound effects designer and engineer is Greg Russ. Our technical director at the Slipper Room is Johnny Goddard. And our production coordinator is Brontis Orengo. You know how great it feels to make someone smile? Well, now you can spread the love across the world from the comfort of your own phone. We hope you'll take a quick moment to give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback does a lot to keep the lifeblood flowing in our little production company. And while you're at it, if you haven't yet, subscribe. You can also see what we really look like when you find us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter with our handle @Fireside Mystery. You may not be able to see us through your earbuds, but trust me, we look fabulous, and you could look fireside fabulous too. We have lots of Fireside Mystery Theater swag that would make great gifts you can score for yourself or for the FMT fan in your life. T-shirts, hoodies, pillows, totes, mugs, notebooks, stickers, all sorts of cool kit with our logo. Lots of sales are always popping up too. Just go to firesidemysterytheater.com/merch and browse around. Our next live show takes us on a trip back to that freaky town we like to visit, Sunken Harbor, the Strawberry Festival. Join us at the Slipper Room on Sunday, April 29th at our new time, 5 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at slipperroom.com. Still craving more great stories about amazing women? Well, you're in luck. Be on the lookout for the release of The 11th Day, our next podcast installment of The Secret Files of Nellie Bly. Trust us, it's worth the wait, but we won't make you hold out too long. I shall leave you with these words in anticipation of our next episode, chilling words from Miss Nellie Bly herself. Who would not rather be a murderer and take the chance for life than be declared insane without hope of escape? This is your own Ali Silva, releasing you to your own imagination. And until our next encounter, do remember to mind the shadows.